welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, then no. It's going on like it's the worst thing ever in the world. If you're new here, then hello, thank you so much for finding me. I hope you will stay and subscribe and show me some love. And if you are not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate it. Today's video is actually going to be all about my experience with laser eye surgery. So I actually filmed a video for this when I got it done, 2 years ago now. And I never posted it because I didn't want to. But now I actually officially am doing YouTube properly. I thought I could. It's annoying myself because I play my hair all the time. But it's fine. Let's just try and keep it like this. Let's see if I can go a whole video without... No. So I just thought I would explain my experiences with laser eye surgery. If that sounds interesting to you, then please keep watching. So basically, the procedure that I had with my laser eye surgery... the video that I would have done 2 years ago would have had the actual things that I used and like had for Aftercare with me, but obviously I've thrown them away now because I don't need them. But my vision was, I think I was short-sighted. So I couldn't see far away. If that's wrong, sorry, but I couldn't see far away. So if you walked in the door, I wouldn't know who you were until you got like here. So my prescription was stronger in one eye than the other. So this eye was about minus 3.15 and this one was like 2.75 or something. So it's not, I know some people have it a lot worse, but it was a nightmare. I had to wear glasses every single day or lenses every single day. And it got worse as I got older. I went through the, I think it's Bupa, the private healthcare, but I went through private healthcare. And the reason I went through private healthcare as opposed to Vision Express or Optical Express, Mum went through them. And the doctor also said that with them at the private hospitals, you get the price, you get your quote, and that's all you ever have to pay. You don't have to pay any extras. Whereas with the like more commercial places, you'll get a quote and then they'll ask for an add-on and then another add-on and another add-on, the kind of things that you can't really avoid. Granddad went through the private hospital, so I went through the same surgeon as him. And I was glad that I did that, to be honest. So I went to Nottingham Park Plaza Hospital, I think it's called, for my consultations. The actual surgery took place in Birmingham at their university campus, but it's not obviously the students that are doing it. And then all my aftercare was in Nottingham again. So basically I went for my first appointment to check how weak or strong my eyes are, if I qualify for it and things like that. I was 21 at the time. I was his youngest ever patient. He said, your eyes may get worse again if they keep deteriorating at the stage they have done because obviously you get eye checks every 2 years, like eye tests. So I got one 2 years before that and then I got one on that day. And he said, if your eyes deteriorate at this rate every 2 years, you'll need glasses again in 8 years' time. But I said, you know what? In 8 years' time, I might be in a position where I can pay for it again and I'll go through it again and I'm not bothered. So I just went for it. So I had like my initial test where you obviously rest your head on the thing and they look at your eyes, things like that. They have to obviously dilate your pupils when they make them really big. So I had massive pupils. So I couldn't drive. I had to get driven there and back. So I got that done. So I had a consultation with them. Obviously my memory's a little bit hazy with this because obviously it's been 2 years. Then booked the appointment to go down to Birmingham. Went to Birmingham. He said to me, if you have any infection on your face on the day, I cannot operate on you. And I suffered with skin. I suffered with acne at the time. And I was really, really scared of getting a spot on my face because obviously if they pop that and it goes anywhere in my eye, it was just going to be an absolute mess. So luckily I didn't get any. So me and my mum booked a hotel for Birmingham. We stayed the night before. My mum obviously drove and we had like a nice evening in Birmingham, went out for some food. And then the next morning I went in that day. And then for like the final checkovers, basically, where you have like another eye test to make sure you're fit to go for it and stuff. That's when they said about my eyes being like 8 years deteriorated and things. Then the next morning I was up bright and early, ready for the operation. My operation was at 9:30, but it was quite late. He was running late that day. And the actual procedure, so I went for, there's 2 types of laser eye surgery. So you can have LASIK and LASEK. And I had LASIK with the I, not the E. LASIK is where, this is not for the faint-hearted, trigger warning, I'm talking about eyes and blood, and not blood, but surgery. LASIK is where they will basically like make an incision on the bottom half of your, like, is it your iris, like the circle. And then from what I understand, they lift up this flap that they've just made. The laser goes directly into that part of your eye and then they close the flap down again, and then you're able to see. LASIK is where they will install like a bit like a contact lens on your eye. I don't know if you go back and get it out a little bit later, like a few weeks later. I think you do have to go back again to get another piece of surgery done to remove that, and then you can see better. I didn't look into that one too much because I knew I wanted the traditional newer one, the traditional one that my mum had. She had the LASIK as well, and my granddad had the LASIK as well, so that's why we did that. The LASIK is cheaper, but again, it's longer recovery time, so longer off work, and it is a little bit more painful, and you have to go back again for another operation. After that one appointment that day, that was it. I was done apart from checkups. So I went down to the operating, like, I don't want to say theatre, because it wasn't a theatre, but I was ready. I had, throughout the morning, I had anaesthetic drops, couldn't think of the word. I had anaesthetic drops in my eyes to numb them, which is a really, really weird feeling. So you go into the operating room and they'll lay you down and they'll obviously clamp your eye open, and they're brushing over your eye with like tools, like brushes, and you can't feel it. You don't want to flinch or blink. You can't feel it. It doesn't even make you want to. It just feels like you've kind of got glasses on and someone's running over the glasses, but obviously it's not, it's your eye. It's so weird. And what the actual procedure itself, so from walking in the room to leaving the room, takes about 25 minutes, but the actual procedure where they're actually doing the laser in is seconds. So what they'll do is they'll get you all like leveled up and ready, and you'll be looking directly into this, like, they'll tell you to stare past this like green light or red light, whatever colour it was, and that's when something will sort of run under your eye, and that's when like the cutting happens. Sorry, it's absolutely disgusting, I know it is, but I have a few people that ask me about my experience, so I wanted to share it. That's done that, so you have to do both eyes first, and then what they'll do is they'll swing the chair that you're on, like you're laid on a bed, and it'll be on like a belt almost, and they'll swing you back round. So say you're going from like 12 o'clock to like 9 o'clock or 3 o'clock, and then they'll go and do the lasering part. So they'll make the incision in your eye, take you over there, your doctor will come over and he'll lift up all the flaps. You can't feel it, it doesn't hurt or anything. The cutting of the eye, it's an uncomfortable feeling. It's by no means painful, but it's, you know, it's kind of happening, and obviously if you're thinking about it, it's going to make it worse as well. It sounds disgusting. I imagine it to be like an onion, like have layers. I don't know why, it probably doesn't, but that's what I imagine. And then they'll say the laser happens. The laser it's not a massively bright light, really, from what I remember. They'll do one eye at a time. And my right eye is the one that had the less prescription, so it was my stronger eye. That took about 8 seconds, and the one that had the stronger prescriptions, the eye that was more blind, took about 13 to 15 seconds. It stinks. It smells. You can smell your eyes burning, essentially, when they do the laser. It stinks. Just gonna be honest. When I did my first eye, because when they did the cutting, I got a little bit upset because I was a bit stressed. I've never had an operation in my life. I've never been in hospital for a long period of time in my life. I've never broken a bone, touch wood, never done anything like that in my life. So this was my first real experience of kind of surgery and things. So it kind of freaked me out a little bit, even though I'd bigged myself up on the day and got myself worked up. And because they're running late, I had more time to sit and think about it. So I got a bit distressed, and then when I went over to the second bit, there was a lovely lady who was holding my hand and everything like that. And it sounds so dramatic for your eyes, but when it's your first time getting something like that done, it can be really daunting and scary. The actual procedure's fine, but it can be quite overwhelming, so not knowing what to expect. So I said to him, "Oh my God, is that my eye I can smell?" And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." It didn't bother, the smell, it wasn't scary or didn't bother me in any way, but I didn't expect to be able to smell it, which was strange. You then leave the room and go and sit in a room for 10 minutes. I was crying, and they were like, "Don't cry. You've just had your eyes done. You can't have tears coming out of your eyes." So I was like, but I was crying because it was just an overwhelming experience. I've never had a surgery done before, and I just found it really overwhelming. And anyone who knows me knows that any emotion I'm experiencing, I'm probably crying. I cry at everything. I'm such a crybaby. So I just cried. Mum sat with me, and then they said, "You can get yourself off now." My mum drove home, and for the first sort of few minutes in the car, it was like March time. No, it wasn't, it was February. It was a sunny day, and the first few minutes of the drive home, I felt fine. My eyes didn't feel anything or like hurt or anything like that. And then all of a sudden, as the journey went on, have you ever like shut your eyes, and the only way I can describe it is your eyes kind of like rumble? Or when your eyes are really dry and you shut them and they like burn because they're getting water back in them. I really, really hope that people understand what I mean when I say that. That's what it felt like times a million. Like it was hurting at this point. So it was hurting that much I couldn't open them. because they were like rumbling and burning, and you know when you're so tired and you shut your eyes and they like burn and ache a little bit. Like, I really hope that people know what I mean. That's what it felt like all the way home. I had a pair of sunglasses on, and I had a cap, and I put my cap over my face because I couldn't bear to see any form of light. When my mum got hers done years ago, I remember getting picked up from my granddad's house, my granny and granddad's house, and she had 3 pairs of sunglasses on and it was dark. And I was like, oh my God, dramatic. And I thought, I'm the drama queen like Sarah. So, but I fully get it now. I couldn't look at couldn't look outside the thing either side. It was horrible. And I ended up falling asleep in the car on the way back. My mum was like worried about me because I couldn't see anything, because I was going like, because it was hurting. Got back to Lincoln, got back home, and this is when me and my partner lived with my mum at home in Lincoln. So he was at my house. I was like, please, can you shut all the blinds? Like, I can't be in light. I'm in pain. Can you shut all the blinds? So I literally went upstairs with the sunglasses on and like covering all the light. Got in bed. I felt really, I know it sounds silly, but I felt really drained because I just obviously had a small little piece of surgery done and my eyes were just killing me. So I laid in bed and I was absolutely starving, because you're not allowed to eat before any surgery at all anyway. So I hadn't eaten anything all day, and I got home and I was starving. So I sent him out for a McDonald's and I laid in the dark eating my McDonald's with my eyes shut, and it was just great. I think I fell asleep again. Yeah, that's basically like the run up to the procedure and the procedure day, what happened. So you don't have to stay in overnight or anything like that. You get discharged straight away. And then you have to go back, I think it was 2 days later, and then you have to go back again 2 weeks later for aftercare. Had a little drink. Do excuse me. And so I had, so you have to go back 2 days later for a checkup appointment, which is back in Nottingham. I didn't have to go to Birmingham again after that, so it was good. So I got my friend Elspeth to take me to Nottingham. She was the only person that was free, bless her. So she took me to Nottingham. Obviously, I couldn't drive. I wasn't allowed to drive for, I think you weren't allowed to drive. From what I remember, I'm sure it was 2 weeks at least. I couldn't work for a week. And I wasn't allowed to go swimming or the gym or I wasn't allowed to wear makeup for a week. There was a long list of things you weren't allowed to do, and they all had different times. Gym and swim was a long time. It was about 6. I wasn't allowed to go gym or swim for like 6 weeks. Wasn't allowed to wear makeup for a week. Wasn't allowed to drive for 2 weeks. I think it could be longer. I think it was 2 though. I don't remember going that long without driving. And I wasn't allowed to work for a week or a few days, because your eyes weren't allowed to go below your heart. So you couldn't bend down to pick something up. You'd have to go down and keep your head above all the time, because your eyes would just go funny. It was normal to experience things like double vision. I did get double vision at work. It was horrible. I thought they'd gone wrong. I thought they'd done it wrong, and obviously they hadn't. Headaches and your eyes burning again, and dry eyes was obviously normal. So anyway, went for my checkup. He said it was fine. He said, and I quote, he said, I think every piece of work that I do is good, but you know, when you just, it was so good. He was really proud of the way that mine went. He was really happy with them. So that was amazing. And you Aftercare, basically what you had to do, you had these plastic guards that went over your eyes, all over your eye socket. And you had to take them onto your face and sleep in them so you didn't bash or hurt your eye in your sleep. So I had them on for 2 weeks, and I had a blindfold over the top just for extra protection, really. I was often referred to by Matty as Flick from Bugs Life. I did look like Flick from Bugs Life. If I can insert a picture, I will.
Here I am looking like Flick from Bugs Life with my eye guards.
It did look funny. And then 3 times, I had 3 different drops that I had to put in my eyes 3 or 4 times a day. You had a antibiotic drop, a steroid drop, and a fake tears drop, basically, and you could use that whenever you wanted, but you did all 3 together. We went back after 2 weeks and I said to him, I have double vision, is it normal? And he said, yeah, it's absolutely normal, it's fine. I drove to that appointment, I'm sure I did, so I think I was allowed to drive by then. So yeah, and then the aftercare wise, it just kind of got better over time, and then I could see pretty quick, I could see clear pretty quickly, but so for the first few days after I got it done, I could see fine. And the double vision came later. So that's why I thought I'd done something wrong, and I hadn't. It was normal. I was at work, and the neon signs above different concessions in the store were there was 2 of them. And I was at work, I couldn't bend down to the bottom shelves. I used to work on a shoe concession in a department store, like a retail store. So I couldn't bend down to get the shoes or anything. So I went back to work, but I couldn't do things for a while. I was scared of getting dust in my eyes and things like that. And 2 years on, I have noticed my vision has gone a little bit, has dropped a little bit. Oh my God, did you hear that bang? What was that? I'm not editing that out, that's funny. That's funny. Oh, but yeah, anyway, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so I've noticed my vision has gone a little bit, but that was to be expected, to be honest. I didn't think it would last 2020. I didn't think it would last 2020 for ages, forever. So yeah, my mum got hers done in her 30s and she needs glasses now for reading. I think she needs prescription now, but she's 50. Like, she was 50 this year. So she got it done like her late 30s, and by 50 she needed glasses. Hers lasted a long time. I think the older you are, the better it is. Obviously, when you're younger and your eyes are always changing, developing and stuff, so I probably will need to get it done again in the future. So do think about that when going to get your eyes lasered. If you are young, they do recommend to wait. But I'm happy that I did it at the end of the day, and I will pay to have it done again. I wish you could get like a top up rather than like the full thing again, but you wouldn't be able to do that. So yeah, that's basically my experience with laser eye surgery. So I use blue light glasses for screen time when I remember, and I don't need any glasses yet, and I'm 2 years on and I'm fine. I do have to use eye drops now. I don't think that's anything to do with the surgery. I think that's just from staring at screens a lot longer and stuff like that. Eye drops make my eyes feel amazing now, so I like to use them anyway, and that makes my vision get a little bit better too. Like, I think it can like hydrate your eye, make you see better. So if you were unsure about it or you're contemplating it, hopefully this clears up some Q&As, some FAQs, some queries that you had. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.